Hey guys, welcome to today's video. And in this video, I am going to be showing you how to use semantic tags to structure and control how the web pages in a website will look like and appear to its users. But before we go on, what are semantic tags and why do we need these semantic tags to structure and control how our website looks like? The answer is that semantic tags are tags that provide extra meaning to the content of our code and allow browsers to show users the appropriate structure for the page. Because structured content makes our reading experience easier and more enjoyable. So let's say, for example, we have a web page that doesn't have any semantic tag. What we're going to find out is that the browser would not even know which one is a heading or which one is a paragraph. Like it's just going to be disorganized. So let's just look at it. So let's head over to Visual Studio Code and then name me like create a new file. I'm going to create it index.html. Okay. And then I'm going to use the mth abbreviation for our HTML structure. And then I'm going to head over to Chrome too. And then when I head over there, I'm going to type lorem ipsum. Okay. So I just want to generate text that I'm going to use for this example. Okay, it's loading. Okay. So I'm just going to head over to here and then I'm going to generate it. So I'm just going to copy all this. It's going to copy it and then I'm going to head over here and then I'm just going to paste it. So let's just see whether to go. I'm putting on anything. It's taking time. So as you can see, it's actually opened up. So this is a web page, but as you can see, the browser doesn't understand this at all. It just gave it to us as we put it in. There is no element, there is no hit, there is no headings, nothing. And another thing we need to note that as user, we usually spend a short time on a page, and if we can't see anything useful within the first few seconds, we'll just likely like get frustrated and then go somewhere else. And this is as a result that as users, when looking at a web page, we tend to scan quickly to find relevant content. And we usually start by reading the heading. And as you can see, there is no heading to start with. And now, another thing that we also need to look at is that like people that are visually impaired, they don't read web page, rather they listen to them, and they do that using a software called screen reader. So now, what the screen reader do is that it converts the text and the other elements on the screen into a speech format that the users can listen to. And when the web page doesn't have any semantic tags, just like this one, the screen reader then struggle to interpret the content as you just read everything as just one big block of text, making it difficult for the user to understand. Another thing we need to consider is that search engines, when indexing your page, considers the content such as headings very important when influencing the page's search rankings. So without headings, your page will perform poorly in terms of SEO, that is search engine optimization, which is just basically how your site will appear when it is being searched on search engines such as Google. Another way to look at it is that like imagine a library with books piled randomly on the ground. While you might eventually find the book you're looking for, but it's going to be a very slow and frustrating process compared to when you get to a library and it is very organized with labeled shelves and sections. So a semantic structure is like those labels and sections that makes the information on a web page accessible and easier to understand for both the users, the screen readers, and the screen readers users, and even the search engine. One important thing that we need to note when looking at semantic tag is that when we see them, we should be able to already know what its function is going to be. For example, when we see a traffic light and it has the red sign on it, we know that yes, it means stop. And when we see green, we know that yes, it means go. But then if the wrong semantic tag is applied, it can cause havoc. Imagine putting a green traffic light as stop in a country that knows green traffic light to be go. Like, the result is going to be catastrophic. In the same way as it happens in our everyday life, we need to make sure that we're using the correct elements in order to allow search engines and accessibility software such as Chrome readers to understand the content of our page. A good way that we can do this is by using basic HTML tags. For example, in this our web page now, we head over and then we are going to add headings. Okay, we're going to use our H1 tag. Okay, and then I want to make this our headings. Okay, and put it here. Let me delete this question mark. You can see that there's a difference. At least we now know that this is a heading. So, and we do that by putting the H1 tag. But if we put the wrong tags instead of H1 tag, it's going to cause problem because the screen reader is going to read it as another thing, and then the search engines, when they're indexing their page, there's going to be a lot of confusion. Other than the H1 tag, we have other tags too. We have the paragraph tags, and this is just to show that it is a paragraph. If I put this here, X and put this here, okay, yes, I've shown that like I've put this in a paragraph. So instead of me to open it using open live server, I'm going to use the live preview extension to show it here. So you can see that it shows that this particular one like this here is in a paragraph. Other than the heading tags and the paragraph tags, there are hundreds of other tags that are available for us to use in our code. But we are going to be looking at the common ones that are used often. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is the list tag. Lists are used every day in our life, from your shopping list to the list of directions you subconsciously follow to get to your house every day. And on the web, we have three types of lists. They are the first one is the unordered list, the second is the ordered list, and the third is the description list. Let's take them one by one. The unordered list, these are the lists that you used for items or things that their order of arrangement do not matter. Let's take a shopping list as an example. So I'm going to delete this because I don't think it's necessary again. Okay, let me delete this and then I'm going to start with our heading tag list of things I need to get at the market or at the supermarket. So we'll start by using since it is an unordered list. Okay, since it is an unordered list, so we'll start by using UL. So that's what is used to represent it. UL is used for the unordered list. So, and then we'll start with our list tag. So this shows that this is a list, the LI. So let me zoom in to see it. I'm sure you can see it, and then I'll X this. So like I said earlier, the other lists are used for items or things that their order of arrangement do not matter. So I can put X first, it doesn't matter. I can put milk as the second one, it does not matter. Or I can put bread as the third, it does not matter. But when we have the ordered list, they are used for lists that their order of arrangement actually does matter. For example, I am baking a cake. Okay, so let me head over to Chrome and then see um steps to follow. Okay, I'm having issues with my W. Step to follow. Why baking a cake? Why baking a cake? So let's see. Okay, so you can see in this place how to bake a cake. You can see it has the steps. So the order of arrangement is very important because you can't use the one for the step 8, or you can't do it first instead of doing the one for the step 1 first. So I hope you understand what I mean. So I'm just going to head over and like copy this. Okay, and in this place I'm going to use the comments to keep them first. So then I will come over here and then I'm going to use another heading, and this heading is going to be steps I need to follow. Okay, my W. Okay, I think we have W here. To follow. Why baking a cake? Okay, so then for the ordered list, it is represented with the OL tag, and then we will now use the list. So for the first one, I'm going to use set up the baking pan for this. So you can see it's okay. I don't need to like, okay, let me X this. So you can see it's already, it has the numbering attached with it. But like for this other one, you can see it has this bullet point kind of thing because the order of arrangement does not matter. But this has the numbering attached to it. So if we choose to use the step 1, it doesn't matter. But let me still use the step 1 to it. Okay, let me exit, so it's not necessary. Then the next thing I'm going to do, but like if I start doing like copying it and pasting it is going to take time. So I'm going to use Visual Studio Code shortcut for this. And the shortcut is the Control Alternate and the down arrow for it. So then I start typing and you can see we have this here. So I'm just going to put this way to be together and bring this one together. So I didn't have to be typing those L1, L1. So now I'm just going to copy this here. As you can see, okay, preheat the oven. And then, okay, combine the butter and sugar. Okay, I believe that like the point has been like gotten, understand. Okay, so now we have this. So you can see the difference between the unordered list and the ordered list. So I'm going to delete this because it's not necessary again. So this is the ordered and the unordered list. Then the third one is the description list. So the description list is used for any list that we want to describe or want to define what each property or each term means. So this is how we use it. So the description list is represented with DL that shows that this is for a description list. And then we have the DT that shows that, oh, this is the term. And let's say the term is so what should I define right now that has explanation? So let me go to Chrome and then look at terms and their meaning. So I think this is better. Wow. I don't know. Let me just check this. Okay, so let me just use this. So the first one is consider, and then I'll come over here and then I'll use consider. So that's the first one. And then to explain what this consider means, we use the description data for it, and it's represented with DD. And so I'll head over here and then I will check. It means deemed to be. So let me scroll down so that we can see it. So you can see it here. Okay, let me give this a heading. um, Description list. So as you can see it shows that this consider is the D term and is the data term, and the is the description term, and the deemed to be is the description data, and the description term tells us the term. So the next tag that I'm going to be looking at is the emphasis tag. So since we're done with this, I'm just going to delete all this because they are no longer necessary. I think they are no longer necessary. So the next tag that I'm going to be looking at is the emphasis tags, and as the name implies, like emphasis. While speaking, whether consciously or unconsciously, we tend to often emphasize certain words to alter the meaning of a sentence. So also, it also applies while writing your code for your website. We use semantic tags to provide extra information, such as where emphasis is placed in that particular sentence. So for example, we have let me use this. We have this sentence. I am glad you okay, I'm having issues with my W. I am glad you weren't late. And I'm just going to copy this again. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. So we have these two sentences. Now, in this sentence, oh, not glad, I'm glad. So now we have two sentences. And depending on the words that we stress in this sentence, it can alter their meaning. So now, if I should add, I should put this in italics, this glad in italics, and I also put these two in italics. From here now, you can see that the first sentence, I'm glad you weren't late, shows that the person is relieved that the person wasn't late. Whereas in this second one, you can see here that with both the words glad and late in italics, okay, late in italics, it totally changed the meaning because it now sounds as if the person that wrote it was expressing annoyance that the person arrived a bit late. I'm glad you weren't late. So it's the emphasis there totally changed the meaning. The same way that we're able to discern the meaning of the two sentences, screen readers should be able to discern the meaning of the sentences. So, and how we do that is by using the italics, the emphasis tag. So instead of using this the italics tag for this, because when the screen reader is reading it, it's going to just read it as I'm glad you weren't late. So how you can make this that is for accessibility purpose so that the screen reader will be able to like discern what to use the emphasis tag. And now in place of the italics tag, you use the em tag, that is the emphasis tag. So this, if the screen reader is reading it, oh, it's now going to place emphasis on the glad and the late tag. So that is that for that. So when we like hover around it, you can see it presents stress emphasis of its content. So the screen reader will be able to stress that in. So let's say we have another one that we have okay, let's use this. um I am going to the store. So now if I use this B for this to bolden this, you can see I want to draw attention to this store, that okay, yes, I'm going to the store. But like if a screen reader is reading this out to its users, it's going to have issue because like it would not be able to like put that emphasis in it. So instead of the bold that we use here, we use the strong. So you can see it's still bold. You can see it's still bold, but now like when the screen reader is reading it out, it is going to, you see the strong element presents strong importance, seriousness, or urgency for its content. So it's going to add all those things to it. Another one again is the underline. So now let's say we normally use the underline for like links. Yes, that is when we want to like go back to like a link. It's once we hover around it. Okay, let me show this. Once we hover around it, it's going to bring out that underline stuff. So let me show this. Let me just use, and I'll use contact us. So you can see that the underline is there. But then if we want to underline for like certain things, so maybe like for headings, I want to underline that, we can have something like this um emphasis tags, emphasis tag, and then we can underline this by using the u tag. If I put this in it here, it's going to underline it. So you can see, so it's not the underline tag here now. So, but like if for screen readers, that's for accessibility purpose, instead of you using the U tag for it, it is recommended that you should use the mark in place of the U. So let's do this. So you can see this is like putting this is okay. So you can see here. So you can see it's how would I put it? Okay, because underline is generally associated with links. So if it was underline that was there, subconsciously when I hover around it, I would think that okay, it is a link. Okay, let me go back now and then put the U in it. So as you can see, we generally associate underline with links. And we expect that once we click on it, it's going to take us to another page. But in this particular place, I'm not trying to, it's not a link. I just put that underline so that it can be able to like draw attention to it. And it can cause a very bad user experience because I would think that it's a link, and then when I click on it and it's not clicking, I'll be like, oh, so it is not a link, and that thing. So instead of using this on the line, you use the markup for it. So that's a good way to do it. So it highlights it. So that's it for that. So let's look at the next one. And the next one we're going to be looking at is the quotation tag. Now, there are two elements commonly used for marking up quotations. We have the block quote element and we have the quote element. So the block quote element is, okay, I think let me delete this because we are done with this now. So the block quote element is used for quotation, the same thing with the, okay, so this is the block quote. This is the block quote and this is the quote. So they basically do the same thing. They are used for quotation mark. The only difference between them is that the block quote element is used for longer quotes, while the quote element or the quote tag is used for shorter quotes. So let's let's so let me let's use it in an example. I come here and then since I'm quoting someone, I'm going to use the site attribute. Okay, so let me head over to Chrome and try to quote someone. Um, Popular quotes, browsed it. Okay, okay. So let me click on this. Okay, so I'm going to be citing it from here. Then I'm going to copy, head over here, and then okay, I'm getting it from this particular place. And then what I'm going to, so I'm going to put this in a paragraph. So definitely this is a quote. Okay, so name me to show this, let me use a P here. Oh, it's supposed to be in small letter. Okay, my caps lock is on. I think that's what I'm having. So let's say I am using the block quote here. So you can see it's quoting this. Or instead of that, let me just use this and said, okay, there's another one said. So you can see it here that, so you can see Nelson Mandela once said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So this block quote, why the screen reader is using it is going to show that yes, okay, this is a quote, and also for SEOs and search engine will also use it while indexing your page because they will consider the content and yes, they will know that okay, yes, there was um a, a passage or a paragraph that was quoted from another source. So for the quotes, like I said earlier, this is used for shorter quotes. So let's see, okay, let me use this as sister said. So I'm just going to, okay, now let me X this first. And I'm going to put this in a paragraph. Okay, as her sister said, okay, I'm going, sorry, it's not quote, it's Q. So you can see this, um, okay, let me head over here and say, okay, let me just copy this. So I'm not going to use that since it is by Disney. I'm not interested in this. So let's just come over here. So as you can see in this place now, this is used for shorter one. So you can see as what Disney said, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So hopefully you can be able to, okay. So by now you know the difference between the block quote and the quote. So the next tag that we're going to be looking at is the abbreviation tag. So the abbreviation tags are being used when you use abbreviation, and it is actually used to like give the full term of what you abbreviated. So let's delete this as we are done with this, and then I'm going to let me give it a heading like abbreviation tags, and then okay, I'm going to use this, and then let's look for abbreviation and their meaning. Okay, let's go here. We have this 15 English abbreviation you need to know. So let's see. Okay, 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 let's just copy this. Let's just copy this because, and then we'll head over here to this, and then we have this. Okay, so let me just delete this. So now we have, okay, they said, can you get this in ASAP? Read the email from your boss. This may not cause Spanish. So let's just stop here. So in this particular case now, we know that this is an acronym or an abbreviation of something, but I don't know what that is because like if I'm reading this like, can you get this in ASAP? I'm like, okay, there are some people that know what it is. Then you also have to consider that some people don't know the full meaning of this. So what we do here is that we use the abbreviation for it. Use the abbreviation for it. Oh my god, where did the ASAP go to? Everything ASAP. So after using the abbreviation, we use the title. This title is going to tell us what it means, and from here we can see that the meaning is assume as soon as possible. So let's head over here, and then we use this. So, you see when you hover around it, it shows you that okay, this means as soon as possible. Let's head over to Chrome and then look at it here so you can see. Can you get this in as well? So you can see it shows you that it means as soon as possible. So these tags that are being used for abbreviation or acronyms. So the next element we're also going to be looking at is the site element. Um, we use the site attribute while we're dealing with the block quotes. That's for the quotation. That's to show where we got the quote from. But the site can also stand as an element on its own. One want to reference a piece of work, such as a book or a research paper. And basically, the site element is just used to show where you're citing it from. That it shows the source or shows the place where you're citing from. And mind you, it shouldn't be used for a person name. So let's look at that. We have sites. So for this site, okay, I put this in paragraph and then I'm going to cite some books. Let's let me look for some research paper. Research paper. Okay. No. Okay, so accept all this. So I have this, and let's say okay. I'm going to cite this book now. So I come over here and then come here and I'm like, okay, I'm citing this. You understand? And in it, then I will now do by who? Okay, by Nicholas. Is it possible to copy this? Okay, let's see. So this is basically how you use the site. So I'm citing this book by this is is a very wonderful topical research. Whatever it is, let me just copy something. Um, okay. Um, I don't know. So I think these are all real FH2. I don't know. It's a wonderful book. I'm just explained. Okay. It's very easy to understand. So this is how we cite it. So at this point, you should be able to know how to use semantic data to structure and control how the web pages in a website will look like and appear to its user. There are lots more semantic tags to cover, but we'll be looking at that in the next video. So mind you, if you want to cover more tag, you can head over here to and can type HTML tag and then okay, you can come over here and then you can see it. There are a lot of tags here that you can cover. So all you just have to do is just to take your time and then go through it. So if you love today's video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.